Picture yourself atop the windswept battlements of Dunbar Castle, the air thick with the cries of a siege, as a noblewoman's defiant laughter echoes over the crashing waves. This is no tale of triumph, it's the haunting torment of Agnes of Dunbar, known as Black Agnes, whose courage against an English siege in 1338 turned to a nightmare of isolation and starvation by 1369. What if the real horror lies not in battle, but in the spectral whispers that drove her to a cursed end? This isn't just a story of valor, it's a chilling mystery that will grip your soul, urging you to uncover the shadows of her fall. Step into the fog-shrouded cliffs of medieval Scotland with tales of torment, where we unveil a tale so dark it will haunt your every step dare you face the terror that claimed her. Don't turn away now, for the secrets we about to reveal will linger like a ghost in your mind long after the tale concludes. In the rugged landscape of East Lothian, Scotland, in the year 1312, Agnes Randolph was born into the noble house of Dunbar, a lineage forged in the fires of Scottish resistance. Her early years unfolded within the stone walls of Dunbar Castle, a fortress perched on cliffs overlooking the North Sea, where the crash of waves mingled with tales of her ancestor Patrick Dunbar, stalwart supporter of Robert the Bruce. With dark hair and a piercing gaze, Agnes grew into a woman of steely resolve or education, shaped by a mother who taught her strategy and a father, Patrick, 9th Earl of Dunbar, who instilled a fierce loyalty to Scotland. By her teens, she married John Randolph, 3rd Earl of Moray, a union that bound her to the Scottish cause, her dowry a symbol of alliance in a land scarred by the wars of independence. In 1338, at 26, Agnes's life shifted when John was captured by the English, leaving her to defend Dunbar Castle against an army led by William Montague, Earl of Salisbury, during the Second War of Scottish Independence. Agnes, dubbed Black Agnes for her dark beauty and unyielding spirit, took command with a resolve that stunned her foes. The siege began on January 13, 1338, with Montague's forces over 20,000 strong bombarding the castle with catapults, their stones shattering the outer walls, yet Agnes stood firm, her laughter taunting the English from the ramparts. She ordered her small garrison of 32 pour boiling oil and fling rocks, her ingenuity turning the castle into an impregnable fortress. For 5 months she endured, her voice ringing out, "Beware, Montague, for Agnes's walls stand tall," a defiance that earned her legend. Yet beneath her courage, shadows grew. The English offered gold and titles to her servants, their loyalty wavering as starvation loomed, while rumors of a curse whispered through the keep tales of a spectral figure, a harbinger of doom seen by sentinels in the mist. Agnes's husband, languishing in an English prison, sent desperate pleas, but her isolation deepened, her defiance a beacon that drew both admiration and envy. A chronicler of the time wrote, "Agnes's strength was her shield, her castle, her soul. Yet the shadows crept closer with each dawn. The siege wore on, Agnes's tactics using a battering ram to repair walls. Mocking Montague with feigned feasts became lore, but the toll mounted. Her servants, tempted by English bribes, began to falter, their whispers of surrender a crack in her resolve. The spectral figure grew bolder, its wails haunting the night, a omen that chilled the garrison's blood as supplies dwindled. By June 1338, Montague withdrew, defeated by Agnes's will, yet the victory left her scarred. The curse's whispers persisted, her husband's absence a void. and the castle's isolation bred a paranoia that clung to her like a shroud. Her legend grew, but so did the shadows that would define her end.
The siege of Dunbar Castle in 30 and 38 marked the beginning of a terror that would haunt Agnes of Dunbar, its echoes lingering long after the English withdrew. From January to June, the castle stood as a defiant bastion against William Montagu's army, its gray stones battered by trebuchets that hurled bolts, their impact shaking the foundations, while arrows rained like a deadly storm. Agnes, at 26, commanded with a fierce grace, her voice cutting through the chaos as she directed her scant 30 defenders to repel the 20,000-strong force. She devised ingenious defenses, pouring scalding oil from the ramparts, using a battering ram to mend breached walls. Her laughter a psychological weapon that mocked Montague's futile assaults. For weeks, she endured, her figure a silhouette against the sea, her taunts, "Your stones! Do not harm my walls!" driving the English to rage, their siege engines roaring in response. Yet the terror was not just physical. The English unleashed psychological warfare, their catapults launching the decayed heads of Scottish prisoners, their stench a grim reminder of war's cost, while Montague offered gold to her servants, tempting them with promises of safety. Agnes's resolve held, but the castle's isolation bred a creeping dread. Food stores dwindled, water grew scarce, and the spectral figure, a cloaked phantom seen by sentinels, began to haunt the battlements, its wails a nightly torment that frayed her garrison's nerves. Supplies arrived from Scottish allies in March, a brief respite, but the figure's presence intensified. Its eyes glowing in the fog, a curse whispered a stem from her defiance of English might. Montague's frustration peaked in May, his cannons firing. Yet Agnes's ingenuity, feigning a feast to lure attackers into an ambush, turned the tide. Forcing his retreat on June 10th, the victory was hers, but the cost was steep. Her servants' loyalty fractured. The phantom's curse a shadow that clung to her soul. A bard of the era sang, "Black Agnes stood tall, but the shadows took root. Her triumph, a prelude to doom." The aftermath left Dunbar a scarred shell, its walls stained with blood and memory. Agnes's laughter faded, replaced by a hollow silence. As the spectral figure grew bolder, its presence a constant whisper of retribution, the English defeat fueled her legend, but the terror within the keep deepened. Years passed. Agnes's husband returned in 1342, but the castle's curse lingered, its walls echoing with the phantom's cries. Her defiance had won a battle, yet the psychological scars and isolation sowed seeds of a haunting torment that would claim her life.
By 1369, the haunting demise of Agnes of Dunbar unfolded within the cold walls of Dunbar Castle. A death shrouded in isolation and spectral terror that silenced her legend. At 57, her dark hair streaked with silver, her once fierce frame reduced to a gaunt shadow. Agnes lingered in the keep, her eyes hollow from years of solitude after John's death in 1358. The castle, once a symbol of defiance, had become her prison, its stones echoing with the phantom's wails. A figure now believed to be the spirit of a betrayed English soldier, its curse a legacy of the 1338 siege. Her servants had dwindled to a handful, their fear of the ghost driving them away. Leaving her to tend the hearths alone, her hands trembling as she stoked the embers against the North Sea's chill. Food grew scarce, her stores depleted by neglect and the land's barren yield. Her body weakening with each passing month, her skin paling to a ghostly hue. Chroniclers speak of a mysterious ailment, perhaps starvation compounded by a psychological torment, hallucinations of the phantom. Its glowing eyes piercing the fog, its voice a relentless dirge that drove her to the edge of madness. Agnes roamed the battlements at night, her laughter replaced by muttered prayers, her mind unraveling as the ghost's presence intensified. Its form solidifying in her visions, a specter of her past victory turned vengeful. On October 12th, 1369, her final days came. Her attendants, noting a skeletal figure collapsed by the chapel, her rosary clutched in a claw-like hand, her breath a faint rasp lost to the wind. No physician attended, no kin arrived, her death a solitary end as the phantom's wails ceased, its curse fulfilled. The castle fell silent, her body buried in the chapel's crypt, no stone to mark her grave, the locals shunning the sight. Claiming her spirit joined the ghost, their moans a duet of horror. A monk recorded Agnes's end was a haunting, her castle a tomb where shadows claimed her soul. The chapel's silence deepened, the ghost's absence a hollow victory. Villagers spoke of spectral lights, her torment a tale that lingered, her body's decay a testament to the siege's lingering curse, the castle a forsaken relic. Rumors of her madness spread, the phantom's curse a legend that grew with time. Dunbar became a place of dread, her demise a haunting echo of her defiance, the castle's stones holding the weight of her tormented spirit. Agnes of Dunbar's haunting torment left a scar on Scotland's medieval tapestry, her name a whisper of defiance and dread that outlasted her unmarked grave. The castle, abandoned after her death in 1369, became a ruin whispered about in local lore. Its stones said to harbor the ghosts of Agnes and her English foe, their wails a cautionary tale for generations. The Scottish crown reclaimed her lands, their wealth bolstering defenses against England, yet her story fueled tales of cursed strongholds. Her legend a warning of valor's hidden cost. No monuments rose for her, no ballads sang her early grace, but her narrative spread through crofts and taverns, a chilling reminder of the price of war. The English, humiliated by her 1338 victory, erased her from their chronicles, while Scottish bards preserved her as Black Agnes, a figure of both triumph and tragedy. Her end, marked by starvation and spectral terror, mirrors the dark toll of isolation, where courage becomes a magnet for unseen horrors, where a lady's strength invites a curse from beyond. As a noblewoman of unyielding will, she faced the siege's might and the ghost's wrath. Her grace no shield against the haunting demise that claimed her. Her story warns us that in medieval shadows, victory can sow the seeds of a torment that lingers like a specter in the mist, a legacy etched in the stones of Dunbar. Agnes of Dunbar's torment was more than a death, it was a haunting unraveling of a lady's courage, carved in isolation and sealed by a spectral curse. Her skeletal form in the chapel, the phantom's final wail, the shadow of her siege victory turned to dread haunt history's depths, a tale that will captivate you to the last breath. From Lothian's cliffs to the castle's ruin, her life was a tapestry of defiance and doom, her end a chilling echo in Scotland's shadows. This forgotten horror burns bright amid the past's darkness, a mystery that demands your stay. Crave more spine-chilling tales of medieval horror? Subscribe to Tales of Torment now and dive into our next video about a medieval outcast's gruesome fate. Don't miss a single shiver. Politically hit the bell icon to stay updated. Share this with history lovers worldwide, and let's journey through the past together. Was Agnes's demise a curse from her foe's spirit, or a mind broken by solitude? Drop your most haunting theories in the comments, join our community, and help shape the next dark chapter. Step into the shadows with us, where history's whispers await your discovery, and let the terror of Dunbar linger in your soul.